Hello and welcome everyone to the third episode of the first season of the Embodia Sessions. Today I have a very special guest, which is my best friend Cecilia from Italy. She's currently living in LA. She has been living in London. We met in boarding school actually when we were 17 years old. And ever since we kept a very, very close friendship. And I'm very happy that she's here today to talk with me about what it means to live in your body, about living abroad. We're talking about being focused and career driven, about all the topics that I feel like a lot of women are dealing with. She's a very mature person and she has a very, very strong mindset, which I would like you to hear. And so I'm very happy to share her views with you guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I do. Now we're with my special guest of today's third episode, which is my best friend Cecilia. Hello from Berlin to LA.
Thank you for having me.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too. Even better that I know that today's episode is with you. I would say we're gonna get right into it. As the first part, I always do a quick this or that round with my guests. The audience can get to know you a bit better and also for you to just, warm up. So
Right.
are you ready for that?
Yes, let's go.
First one, Italy or LA?
Ah!
Hmm.
Italy for holiday, LA for life.
That's interesting because it's initially the other way around, right? Like,
Yeah,
naturally.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah. Morning workout or evening workouts?
morning. Definitely morning.
Yeah, I agree with that one. Gym or Pilates?
I love Pilates, but I would lie if I would say that I do Pilates more than the gym. So, gym,
I thought so, yeah. Swimming or hiking?
swimming.
Plan everything or go with the flow?
You know what? I think a little bit of balance, a little bit of both, but I
Mhm.
feel what I do naturally the most is go with the flow.
Career first or balance first?
Balance. After balance, you'll get the career you want. So balance. Yeah.
Trust your gut or sleep on it?
Trust my gut. Always.
Minimalist or maximalist?
I wish I could say minimalist, but I don't know. A little bit of both, but I think I tend to be more on the maximalist side.
Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Yeah, I thought so. Full glam or no makeup?
Full glam.
Stay in or go out?
Um, recently go out. Go out.
And manifest or grind for it?
Probably um grinding first because I think it's a form of manifesting. So grind first.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was it with our quick little this or that round. Now we're gonna get into the deeper questions. And I want to go back to where we first met, which was in boarding school when we
Yes.
were 17, 16, something like that.
Yeah.
And at that time, you just left Italy to go to boarding school. And I want to know what was going through your head. How did you feel like before you took that big step? How did this like affect you mentally?
I think the reason why I wanted to move, I actually think I've always had this like desire to like move abroad and like explore and I think at 16, 17 was I started to feel a little like uh tight where I was, a little bit like not fitting as much as I used to anymore. And I had this opportunity to go to the boarding school where we end up meeting each other and I just obviously was very scared because you're 16 and you're like a child and you're leaving home and you're like oh my God, like I think you don't realize it until you do it. Cause I feel like every time we kind of like romanticize a bit, like the idea of like going away and exploring and going to boarding school. And I think it was definitely like fun and a very much like safe experience as the very first like going away from the family, but it was definitely like scary and it taught me a lot. Just I really wanted to do this. So yeah.
Beautiful. And what was your biggest motivation for that? Maybe like apart from you said kind of like a dream or something, that's kind of like was romanticized. Did you have any
I
motivation that kind of like for change?
I want to change. I've always did very like Christian schools in Italy, and I'm not very religious. Actually, I'm more spiritual, and I mean, I never really fit into that side, but that was like a big part of it. Did see and envision my future not in Italy. I envision a future abroad. I envision a very like more um on a broad lifestyle for me and also like more exploring and living in different places, and I felt like that was the first opportunity that I had that really like could like start the whole process for me. And I think that was the biggest motivation, like not fitting into my school with my at the time friends and whatever, and envisioning just myself being abroad for my future, for my career, for my studies, everything. And it just presented itself. I mean, of course, I did some research, but like, um, it was there, and my family was there to support me, and they supported this start of my now life abroad. So yeah.
I feel like that's also a very important part to have like parents or someone who supports you going abroad because it's a very big step in your life and it comes also with a lot of issues.
Yeah.
Um, and talking about this whole idea of going abroad, maybe there's people listening right now to this podcast that say, I would like to go abroad, I would like to do that, but something stops them from it, maybe fear or something, you know? Um, do you think you would everyone to do this experience, or do you feel like you need to have certain characteristics maybe to do that?
No, I definitely think that everybody can do it. And it's so funny because when I went away for the first time and I was like young, everybody would congratulate me, be like, "Oh my God, you're so brave, you're so." But I mean, on generally was like a safe experience. But I feel like at our age, if anything, this is the time where you can do it when you don't have when you're not supposedly still like settled down, you don't have that much commitment that you need to like be ready to stay wherever you are. I feel like it just brings you so much growth and also independency, and just like you just trust yourself a lot more. I don't think it needs you need any specific characteristic. Also, before going, I feel like I was such a different person. Of course, I was younger, but I feel like it taught me so much. Like you need to meet new people, you need to create your own life abroad, you need to do this in order to like feel at home. And I feel like it's just you don't need any skills to begin with to like do that. You just will gain it once you go abroad. And I feel like there's no like such thing as like no, you're not meant for it. You're meant for it. Of course, then you decide whether or not you like it. But I feel like genuinely it's just like an enriching experience for somebody to have, especially at a young age. But even at older, like I don't think it would matter that much if you can.
True, I really agree with that, and I feel like um as myself, I also did kind of like a similar experience as you moving abroad, and there's a lot that I've learned from it, which I think I can just take into every area of my life, and I've learned so much about myself. But I feel like you're even more a pro of moving abroad because you've done this like several times now, several countries. You even moved to another continent, which is such a huge
Yeah.
step, and I very much admire that. So happy for you that you found your yeah, your life there and that you figured out that's where you want to be.
Mhm.
Um, and I want to ask you, do you have any advice for people who want to go abroad, who want to take that big step? Any advice that you would say, like, I wish I would have known that as I
Mhm.
first made that decision, or maybe because they fear of making a mistake of choosing what country, choosing what they want to do abroad.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like having done it like a bunch of times now, it just becomes less and less scary. I feel like once, if it's your first time moving abroad, it probably would seem like a super huge, big step that you're taking. And it probably is. But what I've learned from my experience is that I'm going to plan as much as I can in order for me to feel safe and to feel good about wherever it is that I'm moving. But I learned that nothing is ever going to be exactly how you plan it or what you expect. I kind of think that my advice would be like, don't like plan, of course, plan, make sure that you have everything you need, that you're doing something that you like and whatever, but it's never going to be how you expect it. And just to embrace the change rather than like see what it is that you were thinking it would be. Like just embrace it, just go with it. And that's what I mean, like go with the flow. I'm a little bit more like go with the flow because it's just like you have to. And I feel like it's a sign of intelligence if you're able to adapt to different environments. And I feel like put it as a challenge rather than being scared of like seeing something that is not how you thought it would be. Um, you are like if you're moving abroad, then it's definitely like a big step, but like also like the more you do it, the more you realize how fun and um like challenging it could be at the same time. But you have to see it from a positive mindset always, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. And like I am also personally a very big supporter of encouraging everyone to do that step and also to figure it out. As you said, like there you don't always know it and you cannot control it. And if you make a mistake there, it's fine. It will, eventually just lead you the right way and you're gonna change again. I feel like it's fine to go through that process. I would encourage always everyone to do that. Um, do you feel like it is important to stay connected to your home, to the values you've been taught at home, to maybe values from your own country? Do you feel like you should leave that behind or maybe a mixture of it? How do you see that point?
Definitely like I'm very close to home and like I always talk with my parents every day, with my friends from Italy. I think it's very important. Also, I think it just for me comes naturally because I feel like when you go away from home, it's when you appreciate it the most. And I feel like that's exactly when I go back home and have the time to spend with my family and have the time to go back to Italy and enjoy the food there and enjoy the people and enjoy the friends. It's just like the most beautiful time I had. And I think when I was living there all the time, I really couldn't appreciate it that much. But also, like moving abroad, I feel like people are very interesting in knowing where you're from if you're not from that place. And it just like kind of brings this a little bit of patriotism out of you. Like you're like, oh, like my country is beautiful. And then when I lived in Italy before, I would never say to my Italian people, like to my Italian friends, oh, this country is beautiful, you know? So I feel like you naturally get even kind of like more connected. I feel like where you're from and um, where you spend most of your life is gonna shape your identity no matter what. And I feel like it's important for me at least to like bring that out also here with the people I meet, with everybody. I just like to let them know that I'm not from here because it's also just explains a lot. but but I love showing my Italian roots and to embrace them and to maybe cook an Italian meal for my friends or stuff like that.
That's very nice. And it's also a very nice mixture, it's something like maybe you bring something from Italy to people that haven't moved abroad, but they get a similar experience, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I
it's
think
so
that,
true.
and the point with parents, I really do feel related to that because I feel like I have never been more close to my parents then through moving abroad and to actually having that physical distance,
Yeah.
I feel like both sides just keep more effort to keep that connection strong. And it's not only parents, it might be friendships or something. I feel like while
Yeah.
going abroad, you really see what people, no matter the distance, stick to you and what people you
Mhm.
know, like take with you in the heart everywhere. Same as our friendship, for example, which is also a distance friendship. So
Mhm. I I completely agree. But we're staying strong. We have this friendship.
that's very
Yeah.
true. Yeah, I feel like going abroad, we can tell to that topic that we would, encourage everyone to do that and that it comes with, of course, a lot of like
Things.
strength. It comes with problems. I was thinking of talking about our issues during
Mhm.
like first time going abroad, but I feel like they're also so individual that you cannot
Yeah.
like generalize that and tell to someone these are going to be the issues.
No.
So I prefer to rather like talk about the good sides, talk about
Mhm.
the encouraging sides of doing that. In the end, they're greater than the issues we had, right?
For sure. I truly agree with that. And I think it's also the way to go with this kind of thing. It's starting with a positive mindset rather than what's gonna be hard, what's gonna be so difficult, what's gonna no, like just enjoy it and go with whatever life gives you.
Very much right. Next up, I would like to talk a bit more about you and your personality, about your characteristics. And I feel like overall these days it's very common that there's a lot of powerful women that are very career driven and focused, ambitious, and I always saw that in you. Like to me, you're just someone that is so like motivating, so inspiring, like focus on what she wants and also career focus, I feel like. So my first question to you would be if you know where that comes from, if that has always been part of you, if something external made you kind of like focus on that. How do you, yeah, like
Mhm.
why is it important to you?
Um, Good question. I've always been exposed to like my dad and like how he is a very business driven person, a career person, and like a very much businessman mentality. And I feel like since we were young, we always like have like this big dinners and lunch every like day with my whole family. With my dad would talk about his work and talk about what he's doing, and not just his work, just like whatever's going on in the world. And it just like made me very like self aware of surroundings and what a career means in today's period. And I don't know, like I feel like definitely my dad has had the biggest impact on me about my career. But I feel like generally just making like small work experiences and bigger ones, it just made me realize that I do care about it. I do care about my career and where it could take me. And I feel like I just enjoy it, but I also, of course, I enjoy like a little bit of balance. But I think definitely my dad has been the biggest influence for me on this. He always supported me also with this, and he always told me how great I would be as a manager, as a business owner, as something. So I feel like it also got to me a little bit in my head. I feel like a little bit full of myself. No, I'm kidding. But I just, it's just my, I don't know.
I love that it comes from your dad. Like it's actually so beautiful to have that motivation from someone so close to you and like really I think it's also like a good motivation
Mhm.
to be that focus, because I feel like as much as I love this kind of like hype around being very career focused and super ambitious, I feel like a lot of people do this for the wrong reasons
Mhm.
and I feel like it's a bit tricky,
Yeah.
if you're doing it for the right reasons, if you have a good motivation, a positive motivation, then this is very, very encouraging and inspiring. It has to, come from a good source. So that's why I was asking you this question. And I feel like for you, you really have that good source there.
Thank you. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree.
And this whole ambitious thing, do you feel like it's kind of also protecting you from something? Do you feel like while staying so ambitious and focused on stuff, you pretend to lose control or pretend to get bored?
I think the ambitious thing and the it's always been kind of like a part of me, and I feel like I don't know that it kind of like is protecting me from anything. I just feel like for me sometimes it's easier to like focus on a goal rather than not have anything set in my head. So probably it's also the way I work, so maybe it does protect me from like boredom or stuff like that. But I generally do think that also like moving abroad and having like it's harder to work in a different country, especially in a different continent, rather than in your own country. I feel like I learned to also like deal with obstacles and stuff like that. So I don't think it's really protecting me at this point. I think it's just like trying to like achieve something that will make me feel great about this desire that I have. But maybe, I mean, of course, I feel like everybody has something like that they like to do or that they enjoy doing that kind of like shifts the focus from like boredom or stuff like that. But I definitely think that I have other stuff. I just don't have the career mindset in my life. I think I'm a very balanced person on this aspect. That's why I don't know if it's protecting me for something, because I would say that maybe sports protects me more than career focused mindset. Because if I don't know what to do, I will go to the gym. I will go on a hike. I will do anything else. So I don't know. I think for sure on some aspects, but I feel like right now, because of the obstacles of like being abroad and not being in your different countries, and it's not obstacle, it's just like a different path that I chose. It comes with a lot of uncertainty, so I feel like it's not the only thing I have, and like career is not the only thing I have in my mind to answer that question.
That's good actually. And
Yeah.
yeah, talking about that balance, that's actually something that also I feel like it's a very important matter why I wanted you in this podcast, because I feel like you really, to me, embody that balance, being career focused and generally focused, but also having that grounded kind of like trait to it. And in Embodia in general, I always try to transmit this balance to people, that as much as you want to push yourself and as much as you want to get the best out of yourself, it comes with that balance, it comes with grounding yourself, it comes with coming back to yourself. And I feel like you really are very good at that, and that's why I would like to ask you to share some actions, some routines, like anything you do to keep yourself grounded while, being
Mhm.
also focused, while having a lot of stuff to do. Like, what are
Right.
your secrets
Mm,
there?
I definitely enjoy a lot staying in nature. So I will go, especially here in LA, I have the opportunity to go into beautiful places um, that are very much into nature. Like last weekend, I went to this beautiful waterfall and hike for like 4 hours. And I think that really helps me to just like, see that there's a lot of other stuff going on rather than me, myself, and I. And I think nature is the biggest one of them. I also love animals for some reason. Like, just, I've been going a lot to shelters and just like staying with dogs and staying with cats. And it's just like, I feel like animals are just they're powerless being compared to us. And it's just like, it just makes me feel some type of connection through the environment that I'm staying with. And definitely also my friends, my family, talking with them daily, reminding myself where I come from. I speak with, there's not a day that goes by without me calling my mom, which is kind of Italian for me, but I feel like I really need that. I really need also the help of my parents, though, to guiding me through some decision, and my friends, and talking out loud about everything about whatever the worry that I have in my mind is at that moment, but not just worries, also just like good stuff, and reminding myself, that it's it's part of the journey. It's part of everything. It's not just there's not one thing that that it's not supposed to be how it is in that moment. And so I just feel like nature, animals, talking with my friends, and doing also activities that I love, like sport. I love going dancing, dance classes, hiking, gym, trying out new classes. I don't know if you guys have that there, but like class pass where you have like can try a bunch of different classes.
Yeah.
Enjoy like experience the whole life, not just one side of it. So yeah, just to be grounded and remind myself that I am on the earth with everybody else. Yeah.
That's a very good advice. That's a very good direction of thinking. And you've mentioned kind of like LA to be a very good place to do all of those things. You know, you said you have the nature there, you have the people there, you found your friends there, you feel safe in the environment, everything. But um, on the other hand, do you feel like there's anything about LA that sometimes keeps you from being that grounded because it's such a fast living city and big city, many people, many, different cultures? Do you feel like sometimes this could, because I feel like in Berlin I have sometimes a feeling of like all of this energies kind of like sometimes also can drain me or make me feel disconnected. Do you have a
Mm-hmm.
similar
I would
experience?
honestly, in like the fast paced kind of environment, LA, I would have to disagree a little bit because I feel like London or like New York are much more like city like cities, that is the typical like kind of like European style city. LA kind of like doesn't feel like a city living in it, but it has its cons for sure. It's like, a little bit of toxic environment if you don't stay with the right people and if you don't ground yourself and other stuff. But on the city past pace life kind of thing, I would have to disagree because I truly feel like for me, LA is one of the most relaxing cities that I lived in, which is funny because obviously about all the things that are said about LA, but I definitely think that it's about how you live it. I definitely went through, I had to like uh go through some things to understand which people are my people, what I enjoy doing here, what makes me happy and what keeps me grounded to
Mm-hmm.
what I actually feel like my purpose is. And I feel like LA can be a bit confusing on that side. If that's your first experience, maybe it could be like a little bit overwhelming. But I feel like I have been doing this for so long. I feel like I have a strong sense of who I am right now, and I know what I enjoy doing. I know what I don't enjoy doing, and it just like for me, the experience here overall has been one of the easiest experience
Yeah.
in a way of like knowing what I enjoy and what I do not enjoy. Of course, sometimes you still like want to go a little bit rogue and like try to like I don't know, maybe let's try it again, maybe this time. But I feel like I really know who I am. I know what I enjoy doing, what it is that brings me happiness and also calmness. And in a way, like London for me was much more of a past
Mm-hmm.
pace city rather than LA because I chose to live LA in a different way. But definitely, like it could be both sides. That's why it's important to like do certain stuff. Like for me, it's the hiking, it's the staying with my friends, talking with my family, and then like I was recently in New York. That's a very fast paced city. But LA, I feel like you could. It's really about how you you make
Live
it
it.
yours. Yeah, how you live it, how
Yeah.
you make it yours. So yeah.
So so do you think that kind of in the end your location or the city you live in, it's not really the biggest part of it. Like it's more about knowing yourself and knowing what you like to do. And if you figure that out, you can kind of like make yourself feel great in almost any city, if you say so.
I would say so, but generally I do think that there are some cities which is more hard for you to like not feel like the fast pace of it. But I would generally say that like technically if you just like um have a sense of who you are, have a sense of what you enjoy doing, and uh just focus on that and focus on yourself, as you calm and happiness, you can make any place your home. And that's why I think that, as I said before, adaptability is one of the greatest sign for me for a person to be clever and smart. And so yeah, make it anywhere you go. I think it's possible to make it your own, as long as you obviously like believe it also.
That's nice. It actually sounds very encouraging. So, like all of this stuff being career focused, going abroad also comes with a lot of discomfort, no matter how much you know yourself or what you like and what you like to do. I think it still always will come with discomfort. You think that discomfort actually is a necessary step towards expansion, and I find that very interesting actually, because I feel like many people, they always choose to stay in the comfort side, don't get out of their comfort zone, and they would not choose the discomfort. Um, but if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. And I want you to explain a bit more why you find this to be the right step, and also encourage people to step out of their comfort zone, to face this discomfort, to reach further.
Of course, I think that like sometimes, no matter where you're gonna put in a uncomfortable position, no matter what, if you're abroad, if you're living at your own home, anything, you could be put into a hard situation at time. And I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of people try to run from it and try to like push it under the rug and be like, it's okay, like I will deal with it later. The thing is that you will have to deal with it later. Because if you keep running away and keep pushing it away, it's not going to bring anything. I feel like what I learned through my experience is that sitting a little bit in that discomfort, trying to like go over and over it again sometimes can help. And just rather than just be like, oh, it's fine, it's okay, like I don't care, like I will think about it later. I think sitting through it, understand where it comes from, understand that, it's part of that journey is where when you actually realize all of that, it's where the good things come after. It's where you can actually grow, where you can actually like become a better version of yourself rather than just, not face it. And yeah, I just think it's a necessary part. And if you don't face it, you're going to have to face it eventually. So it is necessary, and it is what makes us better every.
I agree. I agree. Yes. I'm a big fan of facing this discomfort, and actually the only way to go somewhere is through it. So, yeah, as you said, like you might eventually either way go through it, just postpone it, and then it
Mhm.
will maybe even be more discomforting because it just
Yeah,
adds up. So I really agree with that. And I also would encourage people to face their issues, face the truth, face what's
of course.
happening right now, to yeah, like get better, maybe heal from something, recover from something, or just understand themselves better. It's
Of
like
course, it's
it
hard.
it can be hurtful, it can be, yeah, like whatever it means, it can mean a lot of things, of course, whatever this discomfort equals to for you. But I feel like there are certain means, of course, to make the discomfort less discomforting. So you, yeah, you get the energy from a lot of things. You said animals, you said nature, but also you mentioned spirituality. And yeah, I also would like to talk with you about that, because I feel like that's also a very interesting point or interesting idea people, might want to explore. Um, what does spirituality mean to you? Was it always part of you? Does it come from your family? Like, how do you connect with that?
I think my mom. It's so funny because my mom grew up in a very religious family, but
Hmm.
because it was like a very I feel like niche situation, or maybe not even that niche, but like an individual situation that I don't want to put on everybody's religious uh, individual. I feel like she kind of like somehow shifted away from that a little bit, and I feel like always since growing up. with me, she would like use words of affirmations with me, and at the time I didn't even know what that would mean, or manifestation. Or she would tell me like, if you really put your mind to it, if you really say it out loud, things will become your reality and stuff like that. And I, at the time, I really didn't know what that meant. I was just like, okay, like I don't know what you're saying, but somehow that made me feel better. Like words of affirmation, manifestation, journaling, maybe some time meditating, and it kind of became like an integrated part of my life. And I feel like, yeah, since growing up, it's always been a little bit there. I feel like sometimes I go back more into it than others, but I like to keep it always with me because I feel like my life, if anything, it's always been like at least for me, like a proof of all of these things, that your words matter, your energy matters. If you put your mind um, to it, it will work out no matter what. And um, meditating, calming yourself down, knowing that everything, has a meaning and it's gonna be fine and you're gonna resolve it. It's always um, been proved to me, even like in those difficult moments. I feel like that's probably uh, why I like to say that I'm more of a spiritual person than a religious. Even like it doesn't even have to be like that big of a thing for me. Can also just like say like in the morning, like I wake up and I'm like, oh, it's a beautiful day today, and if there's the sun, or just having a positive mindset, knowing that the energy I put into the things that I do will be actually like reward it in a way, and it's actually what attracts the things that I want and what attracts the same energy that I want. And I really do believe in it, and I feel like I'm a big fan of manifesting. I'm a big fan of words of affirmation. I'm a big fan of meditating, um, which I've been recently doing, and I usually do it before going to bed because I think it's the time where I'm most relaxed, and maybe sometimes I'm actually like overthinking or like thinking about the next day, and so that's where I find it easier for me to like, okay, let's calm down a little bit. And I like to do yoga sometimes. Uh, and yeah, I feel like that's kind of like my spirituality.
I feel like there's many different ideas that people could explore. You said journaling, yoga, like there's many different areas, but I feel like what it all comes up to in the end, it's the mindset, or for you to stay in this like positive mindset